We're back. What's up, guys? Today, as always, on Monday, we're going to recap what happened last week, how the picks went, what are the picks for this week. As always, you will have to pay the price of admission to listen to the videos, to get the picks and everything like that. So you know what comes with it. In case you've never bought the package before, the package does come with free picks. It comes with some teasers, overs, unders, props. Basically, everything I can give you is going to be included with this package. If you sign up today, it's going to be absolutely free, just like it has been all damn season. So, with that being said, put your credit card information in the comment section below. I'll see if I need it. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So, the picks for last week, these straight picks actually did pretty decently. It went 6-2. It was kind of an odd week for me personally, only because some of the other things that I was on didn't work out as nicely as I would have hoped. But as far as the channel is concerned, did go 6-2. The two losses were the Titans and the Rams. Rams -7. That one, if you didn't watch it, it really was the Rams losing that game, not necessarily the Titans winning it. Again, if you didn't watch it, really all you needed to watch was the first half. Matt Stafford, you've probably heard by now, threw this weird-ass interception like before or as he was getting tackled for a safety. He decides, I'm not going to take the safety. I'm going to go ahead and throw the ball away. He threw it right into the arms of a linebacker, and they end up getting the ball at like the 4. So the Titans score on that one, and then, the next time they get the ball, obviously, or the first pass really from the 4-yard line, they score. The Rams get the ball back, and the first play they run is like a little out route pass, and it gets picked, and it's a pick 6. So they are down 14-3 at that point, and really that ended up being the difference in the game because it ends up 28-16. So a 12-point win, but 14 of those points were really gifted to them by the Rams. There was a lot of pressure inside by Simmons. Again, if you didn't watch it, or if you did watch it, you heard this, so I'm just kind of recapping it. But it really looked to kind of impact what the Rams are doing, and the Rams had not had a lot of success. They really hadn't played a lot of teams that had a high blitz rate. The Titans usually don't blitz very much, and they really weren't blitzing in the game against the Rams, but their front four was just getting a lot of pressure, and the Rams, you could tell, were not used to that. They didn't really want to adjust, and it was really infuriating because even as some dumbass at home on the bed watching it, I'm thinking like, dude, if this was happening to me in Madden, I'm running different plays. Like, I'm starting to go horizontal, left, right, screens, bootlegs. Get Stafford the hell out of that pressure because he has like 2 seconds max right now, and McVay just was not adjusting. And while I love him as a coach, I really do think he's one of the top coaches in the NFL right now. There's been 2 things that really irritate the hell out of me about Sean McVay. One of them is his almost like stubbornness to not adapt. And so even though we all see something going on and we all know what the answer or the solution is, he doesn't do it until really late. And then in this game, they started to adapt at the beginning of the second half, and they had a really good drive where they go down there and they ended up kicking a field goal. But he just totally deviated back away from that after that drive. So he was using like some bootlegs and some quick slants and things like that, and then he just totally went away from it. So aside from that, the other thing that really pisses me off is he consistently kicks field goals when he should be going for it. It's like 4th and 3, 4th and 1, whatever, and they're either in the red zone or they're like on the 30, and he just settles for the damn field goal, especially in a game like last night where he's down by 2 scores, and he's just like, oh, we're going to kick the field goal and we're going to just keep it a closer game, and we're going to maybe knock it into a 2-possession game, or we're going to take it from, 16-13 or whatever the hell they were doing. And I sort of kind of get that, like, hey, okay, now we're just down 2 touchdowns. But it still doesn't make any sense. When you have like a quarter to go, you need to be going for touchdowns. Even if you don't convert, you're not in any worse position. Your defense had been doing good the whole game. Anyways, as always, I'm going to harp on the ones that I lost, right? More so than pound my chest on the ones that I won. But that's what happened with the Rams game. I would not take that game to heart too much because, again, it seems like it was kind of a fluke. Just in the sense that the Rams really gifted the Titans 14 points. But secondly, I think that the Rams are going to now take this experience moving forward and hopefully be faster to adjust if it happens again. The second one is the Raiders at the Giants. We had the Raiders minus 2.5. We got good line value on it. Looked like the Raiders should have won that game, at least in the first half. They kind of ended up losing that game as well. They just couldn't convert on like 4th and goal. They ended up missing some field goals. Not as big of a beat as the Rams was to me, but whatever. We ended up losing that one. The Panthers, really, that game went exactly to plan. And if you saw my last video, or one of my videos, I think on Thursday, where I was taking the under 21 for the first half, and the line got steamed down like during the video or while I was recording it, throughout the rest of the week, that number kept coming back up. So right before kickoff, it was at under 20.5 at like a minus 110 or minus 108, depending on your book. So I was able to actually get another half unit down on that right before kickoff at a pretty good price. It was like minus 120 for the under 21. So hopefully you were paying attention to that. But all three of these plays with the Patriots went exactly to plan. It was Patriots covered the -3. They stayed under the 41. I think the total score was like 30. And they went under 21 for the first half. Now that one was a little bit closer. The first half, I think, ended at 20. But then after that, the Patriots basically shut down the Panthers. Texans, Dolphins, under 47. That one also cashed pretty easily. That, again, both offenses are very slow, very stuck in the mud. They like to run everything super, super slow. And again, really no surprises there. So that went exactly the way we thought it was. The Browns-Bengals, I'm sorry, I had 3 losses this week. That was the third one that we lost with the under 47. That went well over. The Browns, I just really thought the Bengals defense was going to bounce back. They were going to have a good spot against the Browns here after having just taken an ass whipping here by the Jets the week prior. Now, one thing that did happen is there was a lot of injuries on the Bengals side of the ball, some of which came throughout the week, but again, some were even during the game. And that Bengals defense that was previously ranked like number 5 by DVOA back just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now, when they were beating teams like the Ravens, has dropped pretty significantly down to number 13 per DVOA. But secondly, just the injuries are taking a toll on these guys. They could not stop the run. Nick Chubb was doing whatever the hell he wanted. He had a great game, and it really showed the Browns just took them behind the woodshed and beat the hell out of them. And the Browns, I think, almost went over by themselves. Chargers money line at the Eagles, really good game. That one again, we did get a win on that. It was really a lot of back and forth. Pretty close game. I think we had it capped at like 2.5. And if you didn't watch the videos, I remember even saying I did not want to lay the 2 points or the 2.5 points or the 3 points with the Chargers, which is what that line opened at. The Eagles, I think by the time we got to kickoff, it was like Eagles +1. And I could have been maybe talked into that, but I still like the Chargers money line play, especially because you weren't having to pay a whole lot for that. And we do get that one. The Chiefs-Packers under 55. All week last week I was saying, like, man, I kind of missed the boat. I'm sorry I didn't get to tell a lot of people about this one before the Aaron Rodgers news happened. But it ended up not even mattering, because if you had taken the under 47 or under 48 that happened after the Aaron Rodgers news, you still would have won that game. So, again, that was just a really slow game. The Chiefs still looking like they're trying to be really stubborn and do what they want to do, even though the defenses they're playing are no longer giving them those opportunities. I don't see that changing, unfortunately, until Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Maybe it's going to take a bye week, and I apologize off the top of my head. I don't think they've had one yet, but maybe that's what it's going to take for them to sit down and evaluate the tape and be like, look, we really need to stop playing this old game. The defense is not going to do this for us anymore. But either way, really low-scoring game. I think it was like 13-7. So, yes, we get the cover on that one. So, the straight picks were really, really good. Again, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-3. So, that was a good week. The teasers, again, screwed us over, going 0-2 with both of these just being huge upsets. The Bills losing to the Jaguars outright and the Broncos beating the Cowboys outright. Props end up going 1-1. A.J. Dillon went over his rushing total. The rushing total ended up coming out like at 39. These I don't really include in like the stats that we'll post in the description and things like that, only because by the time I'm making these videos, the prop lines are not out yet. And so like here, I estimated 24.5 yards. It ended up coming out in 39.5 yards, so way off on my estimation. But A.J. Dillon still went over nonetheless. Deebo Samuel, I had it at over 5.5 or 5, and he ended up getting exactly 5. So I'm registering that as a loss. If depending on your book and when you got it, you might have got a push on that one. But anyways, that's how last week went. So again, do end up making about a half unit to a full unit depending on what books you're using. The teasers are really pissing me off because it's just like huge upset after huge upset. I think at this time of the year, we do start getting these upsets coming out more. Teams have more info, more data. They know how to attack other teams' weaknesses. So even like the really, really strong super teams, these teams that are maybe not as good, like the Jaguars, will study them, evaluate their tape, and just kind of really pick at those deficiencies so that they end up getting these really close games or wins in this case. But anyways, let's go ahead and look forward. I'm going to tell you right now, there's only 2 picks that I have for this week right now. There's a lot of them that I'm looking at, but the 2 that I am really, really liking is going to be the Ravens at the Dolphins, Ravens -7. And I'm sorry, it's Dolphins at Ravens, but it's going to be Ravens -7. And the reason I am doing that, first of all, Thursday night football, teams that end up being over 50%, over 500, only lose on Thursday night football 13% of the time. Meaning that 87% of the time, if it's a team that's going to end the season over 500, just we'll say quote unquote a good team, they're going to win this game 87% of the time. So I fully expect the Ravens to win here. But aside from that, the Dolphins have also just really not been prepared to play a team like the Ravens. The Dolphins have actually had a really terrible defense this year. Yeah, the 26th defensive rate by DVOA, 25th offense by DVOA. The Ravens have played a lot of tough teams here lately, and it might not show on their strength of schedule. But if we take a look at the teams that they've played recently, in 1 second, I'll pull it up for you guys. They've played the Vikings this past weekend, which is the 5th rated defense. The Bengals, again, who I mentioned, are the 13th rated defense. The Chargers are probably the easiest game they've had in a while, and I forget exactly where they fall, but I know their defense for rushing is dead last. The Colts are ranked number 1 in rush defense, and they still were able to beat the Colts. So a lot of really good defenses, and now they're going to be having kind of a step down in weight class to play against the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to contain the Ravens, and I don't think, even though the Ravens have not had a good passing defense, if it's Jacoby Brissett or even if it's Tua back there, I don't think they're going to have enough firepower and the quarterback necessary to take advantage of that. Even if Tua manages to play, there's still not going to be any Devontae Parker. I don't believe there's still going to be any Will Fuller. Jalen Waddle is a great receiver, but he is a very short A-dot kind of receiver, and you're going to need to go a little bit deeper down the field to try and keep up with these Ravens, especially if the Ravens can have their way on the ground. I don't think the Dolphins will even possess the ball enough to really find their groove and get into the rhythm that they would need to keep up with this Ravens. I think the Dolphins may be able to score early, may be able to script some good plays coming into the game, but at the end of by the halftime, and especially by end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter, I think the Ravens should be in full control of this game. So I really, really love the Ravens -7. The other game that I really like, and it has not been posted here, and this is mybookie.ag if you're curious. The other one has not been posted here. It has only been posted at Bookmaker so far. Again, another reason I really like Bookmaker, because they put the lines out a little bit early, but it is the Rams game. Rams will be playing the 49ers this upcoming week, and they are actually playing in San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the worst home teams, period, and they don't really have a home field advantage for whatever reason. They just have not found a lot of success there. On top of that, you have the Rams, who are not, yes, it's a away game, but you're going from LA to San Francisco, like a 45-minute plane ride. Not a super far trip for them. I actually bought the Rams down to 3 to get it down to a key number. Again, the Rams had a bad showing, but they really just killed themselves, and I do not believe the 49ers are going to get that same luck, that same kind of flukiness in their favor this week. Assuming that does not happen, this line should be a lot higher. I really have this line as at least a 7-point game. Now, I mean, keep in mind, it is a divisional game, so the Madden algorithm has it at, again, about 7. The coaching algorithm here actually has it at about 14. Jimmy Garoppolo is just not aggressive enough to take advantage of this Rams defense. Deebo Samuel is awesome, and I think he will have probably, a good game, but I don't think he's going to be able to beat this Rams team by themselves. The 49ers also defensively are about average at best. Offensively, they are a somewhat good offense. Shanahan really has that offense, doing what he wants it to, but I just don't think they're going to have enough success on the ground. The 49ers love to run the ball. They love working through the run first. The problem is when you have guys like Aaron Donald and hopefully Von Miller playing, they should probably run into a brick wall more times than not. And if that's the case, if they're getting behind the sticks against this Rams team, it's going to be a long day. The Rams are going to be pissed off of that loss, just like they were when they had that close game with the Lions. And they came out, you could tell, kind of with a mission in that next game. I do expect the same thing here. The Rams offense should get back to humming along. Cooper Kupp should have another good game. I do think you're going to see Darrell Henderson bust free a few times for whatever reason. Even though the 49ers are a great running team, they have not really been able to stop the run, and the runs have been giving them a lot of issues just this whole season. Teams who can run the ball effectively tend to manage to stay kind of on schedule and stay ahead of the sticks against this 49ers team this year. Again, I have it at least a 7-point difference. I think a lot of this is recency bias. But in saying all of that, I am taking the Rams. I'm going to buy it down to the 3 just because I want to get to that key number just in case stuff goes sideways like it did with this last game. I don't believe that's going to happen, but it does not hurt to get to the 3. The 4 is not really going to do us any good. The 3 is a huge number this year. Again, if you haven't seen it, and I'm still going to be updating this. I have unfortunately had not been able to update some of the information for this past week, only because I'm still in the process of watching film. So the key numbers and things like that have not been updated just yet. But as of last week, 3-point discrepancies that happen 18% of the time. So again, we're going to take the Rams and buy it down to 3 and take the Rams -3 at the 49ers for Week 10. So those are the 2 picks right now, guys. Again, there's a lot more that I am still looking at, but the books have gotten really sharp, as we expected around this time of year. There's not really a lot of line value open to us and very blatant, so we're going to really have to pick our spots here and kind of minimize the amount of plays and just take what they give us. So again, kind of like what the Rams were not doing, you want to really only take what the book is going to give you here. Don't try to force it. If you think the number's perfect, don't look for different angles and try and like, oh, well, they played this team 6 weeks ago and this is what happened. Doesn't matter. Don't give a shit. Don't do it. You're going to just end up running into a brick wall and you're going to lose your money. If the number seems right and all your handicapping is like within a point of the discrepancy, don't touch it. Just go to the next game. There's a lot of other games on the board. Don't try to find angles. Let them find you. So that's it for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with, again, some leans, some more workups and things like that. But you have a great day. Hopefully everybody had a good week, and thanks a lot.